Valhalla Reverb for vocals. I'm mixing a pop punk song actually right now. And I've been using Valhalla Reverbs for a long time now. So I wanted to share how I use Valhalla Reverb, the free one, but more I want to get into the paid one, the Vintage Verb. We can also touch on the Valhalla Room Verb. So if you've been thinking about a new reverb plugin to buy, let's say you're using Logic, you've watched one of my Logic tutorials and you're using a stock plugin, like you might be using, I don't know, the Space Designer, right? So if you want to upgrade from the Space Designer, what kind of plugins can you use? I recommend checking out the Valhalla Reverbs. They're professional reverbs. They're probably on a lot of records or songs that you've heard of. I'll quickly show you what they look like on Google here and where you can buy them. If you just search Valhalla, should come up. Actually, you probably have to search Reverb because Valhalla is something else. So here are the products: Valhalla Delay, Vintage Verb, and Room. So I have this one. It's $50. It's a really good investment for $50. It's a one-time fee. You don't have to pay any other licenses on a monthly level or annual level. I really recommend getting this reverb if you're looking to upgrade on a reverb. If you're just starting out, use the stock plugins and get your feet wet before jumping into paid plugins. That would be my personal suggestion. Let's take a look at this lead vocal here. I'm going to take off all the plugins and I'll just give you a bit of a vibe, and let's start applying some reverb to this. So just have a listen.
Selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone, but I called your bluff.
I'm actually going to put all the effects on minus the reverb just because the compression gives it a bit more punch and you really can't hear the vocal right now. So everything, and I'll take off the reverbs.
Your selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone, but I called your bluff. I saw you in his car when I was with the boys last night. I don't know why you can't let go.
Okay, there was a bit of an automation on that reverb that coming into the pre-chorus, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's add the reverb. I'm adding the reverb right on the vocal chain here. We can bust out some reverb, but just because I want to talk about the plugin, I'm just going to add it on the chain here. So let's open this plugin, and this is what Valhalla Vintage Verb looks like. Quick overview of the plugin. We have lots of presets right out of the gate. I'm very rarely designing any reverb from scratch. I'm always clicking a preset and then editing it from there. So we have presets here on the side by, types of room, types of rooms, I guess. Ambiances, chambers, chaotic, gated reverbs, halls, huge spaces, plates, rooms, sanctuary. And then the designer, Don Gunn, has some of his own presets that I use as well. So these are all presets that are available. You can click on one. Let's go to a room, dark vocal room. This is what we get. You can also come at it from choosing the mode, which is like the room, and then the color. You'll see here when I chose dark vocal room, it changed the mode and the color. So if we want to just go to the default, I don't know, well, whatever. Let's just go here. Let's go to smooth room and 1980s. And then this is where we can adjust the sound, really, where I'm adjusting the mix, the pre-delay, the decay, and the shape, and the low and high cut. I'm very rarely ever touching the diff and mod. Actually, not really sure what this does. So I'm not touching it. Damping, I'm very rarely touching this as well. The cool thing about Valhalla is that if you just highlight over something, it tells you what it is. So like the 1980s, it says fast diffuse attack, sparser early echo density, coarse modulation, exponential decay. 1980s, this is the 1980s down here. No downsampling. 1970s, downsamples 10K. And then now, no downsampling, full bandwidth. So cool little explanation there. I like the 1980s and now, but not a huge difference between these. I just think the now sounds a bit more fresh. Maybe because I'm biased because it's saying it's from now. Anyways, let's focus on this lead vocal. So without any reverb.
Your selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone, but I called your bluff.
So we can go to, a Don Gunn preset here, pop vocal.
Your selfish lies really...
Bring that mix down to probably 10% to start.
Your selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone, but I called your bluff. I saw you with...
And then if I'm thinking right off the bat, when I hear the preset, if I'm like, too much, I bring the mix down, then I might bring the decay down. Play with the pre-delay. Do you know what pre-delay means? I can explain it to you if you don't. This is a knob you do want to change. It's when the sound of the reverb starts after the initial signal. So the vocal happens and then you decide when should the reverb happen. In this case, you're saying, I want the reverb to start making a sound 23 milliseconds after. So watch as I drag up the reverb. It's going to sound like the reverb starts later.
Your selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone, but I called your bluff. I saw.
So don't listen to the dry signal. You have to listen to the reverb. You can hear it. It sounds really bad right now because it's so delayed.
Your selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone, but I called your bluff.
It's actually, the reverb is kind of like a delay in a way. So you can use that as a production technique here and there, but on a lead vocal like that, you really wouldn't want to do that. There is some math behind this. I believe it's 7,000 that you can divide your beats per minute by. So 7,000 divided by my BPM, which is 140. I believe this 50 is a 16th note. I saw that on another YouTube video. I think it works. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It could be like an 8th note. It could be 6,000. I'm not exactly sure. I do know that there is some formula here. So you could double click it, go 50 milliseconds.
Your selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone.
But the idea is if you really nail in the pre-delay, then it's going to have a good rhythm with your song. If your pre-delay is off, it can sound like the reverb could clash with other things. So, okay, that's pre-delay. Mix obviously is the amount of reverb that you should put in since we have it on the chain. And then the decay is like the length of the reverb. So on a lead vocal, I would really make a shorter reverb, definitely less than 2 seconds with my personal taste. You could also add a second Valhalla reverb or another reverb that's a bit longer to add some more depth, and you can play with that.
Your selfish lies really messed me up. You said he's gone, but I called your bluff. I saw you in his car when I'm
gonna leave it there. I personally like not a lot of reverb on the lead vocal so it doesn't clash with too many things, but then I like changing it throughout the song so it sounds a bit more dynamic. I'll definitely do a low cut on the reverb, usually at around 140-ish. I just don't like that muddiness of the reverb that comes from the vocal, so I just cut it up there. Okay, let's X that down and let's go into the pre-chorus. You'll notice here that this Valhalla reverb turns on as I go into the pre.
I was with the boys last night. I don't know why you can't let go. He's a player, you should know. It's so damn hard when you keep stringing me along like this.
I think that's cool as a production effect to turn on and off reverbs throughout your song to add some coolness to the song for the listener. So in automation, I just turn the plugin on in the pre and then off in the chorus, coming back dry. I think that just adds a cool effect. I'm just adding another reverb with a longer decay and a bigger mix. And that's it. And it just gives more depth because the drums are also like behind, kind of pushed back as well with an EQ. So it's telling the listener, hey, this is a different section, then something else is coming up because it's building up. So that's what I do with my reverbs. I'll use Valhalla reverbs on harmonies as well. On this harmony stack here in the chorus where we have this little stack. That's all Valhalla reverb there. It's my go-to reverb, the Vintage Verb. On the harmony stack reverbs, I balance between longer concert hall reverbs, so it adds quite a big depth, and then I have some up close. So it kind of gives an effect where you have some harmony singers like right in your ear, and then you have some that are far away. And I just personally like that effect. So that's what I do. Like with these ones down here, I turned off the reverbs fully. It's like right in your ear, and then these ones are further away. And then this effect with the lead.
When you're making love in the backseat.
I think it has a really cool effect. That's the Vintage Verb. It's pretty much the only reverb I use, unless you can convince me of some other reverb that I have to try. I've tried definitely all the Logic reverbs. I've tried some of the Waves reverbs. What's this other one? Like it's Raum actually, but it's room in German. I've tried that one. They're all good. I think you just stick to the one you like the design of and the sound of. I find Valhalla is it just works for the music that I make, and I also think that has a big thing to do with it. The other two Valhalla reverbs are the Room and the Supermassive. Maybe start with the Supermassive because it's free. I use the Supermassive for pads and stuff to add lots of spaciness because it's a supermassive reverb and it's free. So definitely just get this to have in your stack of plugins. I'll show you what it sounds like. I just go to the presets, the reverb presets here. Massive. I like this one. Happy Little Clouds. When you're making love in the backseat. You might not use this on a lead vocal, but on like some type of pad, or you can even make your own pad out of this, like record some guitar and then add a lot of reverb on this and then record the reverb from that track. And then you can automate kind of that reverb and maybe sidechain it to have a bouncing effect as well. When you're making love in the backseat. Do you really forget about me? See how it just adds so much space, but it's really muddying up that lead vocal, so I wouldn't do it there, but great on other instruments, and it's free. That's Valhalla Reverb on vocals. Let me know what kind of reverbs you use in the comments and what other reverbs that I should try. I'm always interested in knowing other plugins, third-party plugins, because it's really, I just love plugins. So let me know in a comment. As always, guys, we will see you in the next video.